Hey guys, Dan Healy here from the Miami Heat UK. We was very lucky today to be able to speak to Miami Heat's TV host and touchline reporter, Jason Jackson. Jax spoke to us from his car directly, squeezed us into his tight schedule for a quick chat. So the audio, maybe not as great as what we would have hoped from a normal episode, but still very clear, very enjoyable nevertheless. Just the odd occasion where it cracks up a little bit, so bear with it, but brilliant to be able to talk to Jax. So enjoy the episode, only a quick chat, but really appreciative of his time. Enjoy. Let's go Heat.
You're listening to Heating Up the UK,
a Miami Heat UK-based podcast, bringing you the best Heat media guests every single week.
Here's your host, Dan Healy.
Brought to you by the Miami Heat UK social media network. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to episode 36 of Heat UK, a Miami Heat UK-based podcast. I am your host, Dan Healy, and today I'm absolutely delighted to be talking to, directly from his car, I'm guessing, drop-top Lamborghini, riding down Biscayne Blvd, shades on. It's your Miami Heat's TV host and touchline reporter, Jason Jackson. Jax, how are you, sir?
The only thing you got right is I have my shades on. Everything else is pretty standard activity. It's great to be back with you, Dan. I was just marveling with my co-host on Sirius XM, Amin Al-Hassan, who some of your listeners maybe know from some of the ESPN work or even our work on Sirius, about doing this podcast with you again, and just the wonderful commitment you and your followers and listeners have to this organization. And please know we don't take it lightly. We don't take it for granted. We love that you're there, good times and bad, and always at 1 a.m. when Ruth and I start the party on Heat Live. So that's awesome.
Wow. Well, what a way to start. Feeling the love. That is fantastic. Really appreciate that. And thank you so much for squeezing me in for your type schedule. We haven't spoken for a while, Jax, but I'll tell you what hasn't been a long time is the Miami Heat since they last played basketball. So, I mean, we're only talking a little over, 6 weeks, something like that, since our tremendous run to the finals last year. And here we are just a couple of weeks away now from the start of, to quote Eric Reed, a brand new Miami Heat NBA adventure about to start. How excited are you for the new season and being back at the American Airlines Arena to witness some basketball? How are you feeling?
I'll be fine when the red light comes on. Right now, it seems daunting. I'm going to be very candid with you. I try to radiate and propagate joy because I have a wonderful job. Basketball has paid all my bills as an adult. I love this organization that when no one else would hire me, they took a chance on me. And so I have proper perspective always about what I do. I'm also 48 and a half years old and not as young as I used to be, even though I'm nowhere near decrepit. And I'm still tired. That was unlike anything I've ever experienced as a broadcaster. So I think about the coaching and playing aspects of being in that bubble and trying to compete for a title and getting to the mountaintop and falling 2 wins short. That takes a toll both mentally and physically on all of us, and at the highest level, our players and coaches. So I'm at least going to be the one person to tell you the truth. I'm not ready yet, but as we all know, and Jimmy pointed out in one of his early preseason interviews, no one cares. So nobody cares that the Heat and Lakers are tired. Nobody's weeping that we didn't get 3 months off. If you're a Piston or a Bull or a Cav or a Warrior or a Timberwolf, you're all like, oh yeah, bleep you all. Let's get back and let's play. So when the red light comes on the 14th for that first preseason game, I'll make myself a liar and I'll give you full throttle once the party starts. But as we take this, we're a couple days away from the 13th edition of Hot Seconds with Jax. After we tape all those episodes, I'll be running downhill to the first preseason game, so I'll feel better then.
Yeah, no, it is a good point. Unfortunately, we're in a great position, despite the fact that it was such a short turnaround, that the Miami Heat culture doesn't allow anything else up to with hardest working, best condition, meanest, nastiest, all that stuff NBA team in the organisation. So we are lucky that we support such an incredible militant style that doesn't allow anything else. And as you quite rightly said, that no one else cares. So we're here to just show up and do our thing. So I mean, a lot of people will tell you that last season was maybe above expectations. I think there'll be a few people that will tell us that they saw it all along, but I think it's not unfair to say that the majority of us didn't see maybe a run to the finals so quickly. However, now this season, I think the expectations have been raised because of that. I think Jimmy Butler's already said that, you know, we've had a taster of what it's all about, and now we're here to win. So I think now with what the roster is very much like an Eric Spoelstra stamp on it. I think it's a really good blend. I think the expectations now have changed. And do you think now that looking at things going forward, despite the no rest and everything else, that the Heat now are in a position to not really be title hopefuls, but bona fide challengers, title challengers now for the foreseeable future with what's happened and our expectations raised over last season's performances?
Listen, you hate to see any of the departures. Derek Jones Jr. and Jay Crowder at the top of the list. But everybody that's come in, Mo, Avery, Young Precious, all are. I'll make it even for those are Spoelstra fantasy players. You know what I mean? Guys who just go, the Rock. Yeah, I don't need the Rock. Don't worry about that. I'm here to defend the Rock. And if the Rock finds me to put it in the basket, I'll do the very best that I can. And it's not like those guys aren't capable and they don't want to score 20 points a game. They realize that there's 4 or 5, 6 guys that can already do that are here. It was so refreshing to listen to Avery Bradley after he was acquired by the team in free agency. Already talk about Tyler Herro as a guy that has to be propped up by the supporting cast, along with Jimmy and Bam, in the sense of doing all those other things so those guys can be special at what they do. So, you nailed it. This group is a reflection because we know full well the Heat don't rest on their laurels. They just won't, even when it's reasonable to. They just won't do it. So Spo has this wonderful way of letting each iteration of the team, each version of the team, be itself onto itself. And so, there are expectations, and there are hungers and desires. They're always there. They're always there, Dan. That's the thing that makes this great, is that there isn't this desire to go find some young player, all due respect to the ones we have. But there's no desire to go lose a bunch of games and put all the promise of tomorrow on a young player. There is no constantly missing the postseason. There is defying reason and having absolute and sometimes delusional confidence that allows this team to restack and revisit.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a good point because it's not like we maybe lack the absolute superstar power that some of the other teams that have amounts of league with their duos, especially with like the LA teams, etc. But when you see people like Avery Bradley and Mo Harkless coming in and almost immediately just saying, this is what it's all about. The Heat culture is what everybody wants to replicate, and now we're a part of it. And when you hear them coming in and in first interview saying things like that, you just think, these are the sort of guys that you want on your team. So it is really exciting, and the depth now that goes all the way through. I mean, we've always had that anyway for the last few seasons, is this fantastic depth that means even guys coming all the way through 13, 14 off the bench and can still give you solid minutes and give you solid performances. That's going to be really big this year in what's going to be no doubt a very COVID disruptive season. So do you think that will help the Heat in the sense that we've got so many guys that we can call on all the way down the roster?
Yeah, no, you nailed it. Because of the uncertainty of what each day is going to bring, you're one test away from having to change everything each day. And so these young guys, the Gabe Vincents, the KZ Palas, BJ.
Yeah.
I can go on and on and on. Don't sit down there with Udonis thinking you're just going to get, the sage veteran advice as you take it in. Your number's getting called. Somewhere in these 72, all these guys are going to be needed. And I'm pretty sure it's public now. The Heat aren't going to have the Skyforce available. So now all the young players will all be with the team all year long. They can play in 50 of the 72 games as well. So 5 more games that they would regularly be able to play and or be active for the mothership. So these guys are going into the waters and they're getting baptized down to the sediment. Like there's going to be nights where those guys are going to be on the front line. And then you just add in the obvious that the Gorans and Bams and Jimmy's played so many freaking minutes that Spo and the staff will be constantly aware, particularly in December and January, so that in February, March, April, May, you're revving. You're revving. You're not, trying to stammer to the finish line.
Yep, that's it. Absolutely. It's going to be a really, really important aspect of our season. And it's just so refreshing to know we've got that ability all the way down. So obviously last season's success, despite just the incredible, just incredible seasons we saw from people like Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Goran Dragic, etc. But something that maybe we didn't expect to see so quickly, Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, etc. Those seasons were just above and beyond exceptional to what maybe the expectations we had of them. I think I am probably most excited this season to see sophomore Tyler Herro. What are the league? What can the league expect from year 2, Tyler Herro?
A little more comfort, a little more experience, and a whole lot more shots.
Yes.
I think he's got a really healthy perspective on becoming better defensively.
Yeah.
I think every young player has to do that. I mean, we're not all going to be Bam Adebayo, right? Come out of the box already prepared for a defensive mindset. You play those years in AAU and college, and you're unleashed to just, go wild offensively. The one thing we're really blessed about, particularly our last 2 players we've received from Kentucky, Coach Calipari and his staff do a great job getting these players NBA ready. I mean, they're just ready. They understand the rigors. If they'll subjugate for 9 months and be a part of what Cal needs for Kentucky basketball, they'll spend the rest of the year getting those kids their dreams to come back. I think Tyler Herro defensively, and I look forward to seeing. I think he hungers for a starting role to go along with his finishing. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has a type of jump that moves him into consideration. I'm not going to make him an all-star, but consideration, just like we saw with Bam last year, but just a year earlier.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how we start the season, because there's a very solid argument to see Tyler maybe starting at the point. That's going to be interesting, whether he throws in Avery Bradley for something a little bit more defensive mindset. I don't think we'll see Goran start the season in the lineup, but maybe where the playoffs come in again, we saw that change was very successful. And of course Kendrick Nunn, who started the season so well for us before tailing off a little bit with his own health concerns. There are so many options, but Tyler Herro, his involvement this year, his aspects that he can bring to us is something that excites me more than anything this year. So I'm really looking forward to that. One other quick question, if you don't mind, Jax. Bam Adebayo is locked in for 5 more years. That is music to all Heat fans' ears, despite the permutations of what it may do to flexibility in 2021. We don't care about that right now. All we care is that one of our own is locked in for 5 years. Did you see the jump that he made last season so quickly? Because I'm a big Bam fan, as everyone knows, but even I didn't see him making this much of a leap so quick in his first year as a starting berth. Already since he's signed his contract, he's saying that he's got bigger things on in his radar. He wants some hardware. He wants to be one of a top 5 player in his position in history. He's saying, is this all achievable for Bam? His big confident words.
entirely. I mean,
Yes.
what
Yes.
are we? How can we sit in the position and defy Bam's desires? Man used to live in a single wide trailer with his mother.
Yep.
They didn't know where the food was coming. 2 jobs for mom. But then his excellence finds his way to Kentucky, which finds his way to the Heat, which, he finds his way to being an all-star and playing in the finals. In that year where we do put that really kind of stern eye of assessment on young players. Are you going to be good? Are you going to be great? And he answered those questions with a double-double every night plus 5 dimes, a block, and a steal. And so there's still room, right? Now, that's the crazy thing. There's still room for him to become All-NBA, to become first team All-Defense, to become the Defensive Player of the Year. Hell, to be an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Because he's just so versatile. He's not a two-way player. He's an all-the-way player. There isn't anything he can't do on a basketball court. And that's the new age big man that's changing everything. He wants to change the game. He is changing the game. And this organization committed to him in a way that will make his grandchildren's children remember Papa Bam and the great money that got left in the trust fund, in my name, because of the great things he did on the basketball court. And he wants, 13 in the Raptors, and he wants to hold the Larry O'Brien trophy and the Bill Russell MVP trophy. All those desires are healthy. I love that type of desire and ambitiousness. You want that in your stars of today and tomorrow. And I hope that I get to stay around. He and I retire about the same time, 12, 14 years from now.
Yes. Absolutely. And you're right, because he even said things like that in his own, look, I feel like I'm already changing basketball because everyone seems to want to draft the next Bam. So that's incredible to see. He's only had 3 years in the NBA. And yeah, as you said, remarkable for what he's done, coming from trailer park with his mother to buying a house, which he always said he would do. That caught me well off guard Monday morning. First thing I didn't need in the morning when I wake up is to see pictures of him showing his mum her new house. Someone was definitely cutting onions early. So just an incredible person and an incredible basket player, and we are lucky to have number 13 balling out for the Miami Heat. Jax, you promised me a quick chat. You've given me a quick chat. I really, really appreciate your time. I can't wait to have you back. I can't wait to have Eric back, John back. It's the Miami Heat basketball back. I know it's been a quick turnaround time, but we appreciate all the work you do, and we can't wait to see you back on our screens.
As I said before, we so appreciate our friends and fans and partners in the Heat culture all over the globe. And what you guys are doing in the UK night in, night out is just so damn impressive. And we're so glad to be with us each night on Fox Sports Sunday.
I massively appreciate it, and we aren't going anywhere. We've got many, many things planned for this channel, so we will be representing, flying the flag high over here in the UK. But Jax, wherever you're off to, please drive safely, and we will see you on our screens very, very soon. Appreciate your time.
All right, let's go Heat.
Let's go. See you soon.
You've been listening to Heating Up the UK.
Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts to ensure you never miss a show.
Also, go give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by finding our page at the Miami Heat UK. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Miami Heat UK TV, for our latest shows and fun content.
That's your Miami Heat from across the pond covered. Thanks for listening.